Hey, welcome back, guys. So let's display the file here. We're going to use a table just like we use on the main page. So here, after we load the page, so far what happens is it shows us this. So let's change that to a table instead. All right. So what I'm going to do is in my preview.html page, this is where things are successful here on the alert. So I'm going to change things from there. So I'll copy stuff from the HTML index.html page. So if you go to the refresh function, I'm going to grab whatever is inside here up to this point. So I'm going to grab all of this from the console.log. Actually, without that, let's just grab all of this. So I need all of that up to here. Let me see where this ends actually. Okay, so it ends beyond that. Okay, so I'm going to grab all of this and we'll delete what we don't need. So move that down slowly up to here. So copy. Let's go to the preview. Right here on the alert, let's paste, right? There we go. We can move things over a little bit, but actually, maybe before we do that, let's actually move them. Okay. All right, so this part we need, that's okay. This part we don't because we already created the object, so let's remove that. Displaying the name, we already did that, so no need to do that here. Delete. Check if user is logged in, we don't need that. We don't need to upgrade the breadcrumbs at all, so all of that gone. We don't need object success, we already did that here, so let me select that and see where the closing, this is the closing else statement. So I would rather we use this one. So I'm going to delete that and move this over. Then I will remove this if statement here because I don't actually need it. So that now becomes the else statement of this one, so that's fine. And then since it's one row, we don't need a loop at all. So I'm gonna remove this closing tag for the loop and remove that loop as well. We don't need table of rows populated at all. We don't need to check for drive space. Let's delete that. What else we don't need? We don't need to check if this is a folder because it always will be a folder. So type is gonna be file. So let me just remove the if statement. Alright, then if type is equal to folder, we have this, which we will never need. So, boom. We can leave the star. We don't need an if statement. Alright. What else? Download. Type is not equal to folder. It always is not going to be equal to folder. So, can just let it run as it is. Move that back. Okay, so share mode, that's fine. We can leave that as it is. This is also fine. Append, that's okay. So let me just move this part back a little. Save. Okay, pretty good, I think. Now we need these folders, these columns well done in the API part. So here where we have the preview file, we are missing some crucial information between this part here. So I'm going to move this a little here and I will use row like that because I want to use row for what I'm going to do down here. So when I do this, it means the result of this will be equal to this, and this will be equal to the same thing as well. So these two will have the same value returned by this function. I want to go where I do get files so I can get that loop. So this is the get files section. There is a loop here, which is this one right there, that loops through the rows. But let me get it from here. Where does this match? This matches here. So I'm gonna copy this up to there, because this part creates these extended columns like this, so why not? So I'm gonna go back to my preview file right here. So after this part, paste like this. Alright. Now here I'm looking for rows, but there's only row here, so I'm going to remove that. Now since it's a single row, we don't really need a loop. So I'm going to look for where the loop ends, which is right about here. So I'm going to remove that and the beginning of the loop. Now if empty file type will not be empty because we are not dealing with folders, so delete this whole part. Let's move this back. We're already doing the success thingy. If empty row, blah, blah, blah. So let's remove that. Oh, no, let's remove it from here, since this is better for success since we are inside the if statement. All right. So, okay, row, blah, blah, blah. Then I need info should be equal to row. So it's info row is equal to row, because we are modifying row here. Now since this says rows because of the loop, we gotta change that. So I'm gonna do this, select all of these instances and change that to row. Alright, I think that works. Okay, looks great. Let's test it. So I'm gonna refresh. So I don't see anything. I think because I don't have the table. So let's go back to our index page here. Let's find the table itself, the one that has tBody in it, which is this one. So let's grab the entire table. Maybe let's grab the div that holds the table with it. So right about there, like so. Copy. Let's go to the preview HTML and let me add that right about maybe the top of this one, right? Or at the bottom. Let's try that. I'm gonna move. This always overshoots for some reason. Okay. There we go. So we have our table over there. Wait, there's a change folder event. We don't need this. So we don't need the select or the change folder. So remove those. Now let's refresh. Okay, at least we have a table. It's not loading the information, so let's find out why by going to the console. Look for some errors, right? So the information is being brought back as intended, but there's a reference error. So we're using the I usually because of loops, and the I is no longer there. If we click here, we should see where the error is, and there it is. Okay. So let's go back. Where is that? So here, let's just put a definite number 0 because this is there's only one item here, and it only uses, there's only one row ever. So it's the first one, so we put a 0 directly. There's also rows I here, which will not exist. So let me select all the instances of rows I and change that to just row, because that's what we are expecting from the PHP side. Okay, great. Let's now refresh and look what's going on. Very nice. Now if I click here, I shouldn't let's see, did I, okay, nothing happens. All right, great. So looking good. Okay, And what else? We don't need to see whether this is shared or not, the share status. Type is fine, but so I think this is the information we don't need. So share mode is irrelevant. So let's remove that share mode from there and remove that. Then we can go and remove it from the table itself. So right there, out. All right, no need for that. Very cool. Now loading file please wait should be in here instead. So what I'm gonna do is change things a little bit. So I'm gonna grab, this is the part, so I'll get this one here, and what to do la. So I want this to happen as immediately I load the page. So how to do this? I think we can do here where we are doing the get params, and before we send, just before we send, we should, let me do this here. Now since t-body is a really important part of things here, let me do this loading. Oops, what have I done? My mouse. Okay, there we go. We say loading file dot 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 please wait exclamation point. So I want to grab t-body. Let t-body should come out from here and be part of the main right there. So instead of let, I'll use var. The difference is that var will add this to the window object, make it really truly universal, but let is a more efficient way of saving memory because it uses, it only saves it temp in a temp format. I don't know if I got that right, but yeah. There we go. Looking good. Let's see if that actually works. I think it did show loading. Please wait for a second, and then boom. So what I'm gonna do is go to the API here and tell it to sleep a bit for maybe 2 seconds so I can see something there. And yep, loading, please wait, and then boom. So you can see that loading file, please wait, boom. Okay, great. Let's remove that sleep, otherwise it would be annoying over time. Let's go back here, and what I want to do is in the t-body, no, this part right here I want to remove. I don't need it anymore, and that is great. So refresh. Great. All right, things are looking great. We just need to be able to download this file here. Yeah. Now let's see what happens on the download here. What buttons are really there? Download link is equal to download.php ID. Okay, great. Doesn't look that hard. It looks like it can actually just work as it is right now, which is awesome. Okay, so at this point we're not checking the share mode, whether the user is actually allowed to view this file at all. So this is what we actually need to check for now. Then we can be able to change the share mode as well. Where shared, if I right click, there's share there. Okay, so we should deal with that next. Now let's test if this can actually download. Right, so it's actually downloading, which is awesomeness, right? Okay, so it's done downloading. So it actually works for now. Let's try a different file. I'm gonna say preview, loading, please wait. And it doesn't seem to be working here. So let's see what we got. in the console we should have an error of some kind. So it says JSON failed to parse. Now the reason it failed to parse is because there's a warning here which messes up the JSON data. So it says a non-numeric value encountered on line 185. So let's check that out. API 185, where are you, man? There we go. So probably the file size is way too small. For it to say non-numeric, I think it's this round function. It's trying to round a non-numeric value. So what we can do, if file size is equal to 0 MB, wait a sec. Oh, okay, because we're adding MB there, right? So let's see. 0 MB. File size divide. Wait a sec. This is crazy. I don't know how I thought this would actually work. How is this working really? This is weird. Because here I'm dividing. You see, file size is equal to 0 MB, which means it has text there. It's not a number. And I'm trying to divide that by... This is real strange. Anyway, let me do this. If raw files... Oh, okay. It doesn't work here because in the previous thing there was row I. There was a difference actually. Okay, so makes sense. Makes a lot of sense why it's not working here, but it works on the get files because this is different to this. I'm not overriding anything. All right, so makes sense. Let's go back here and fix that. So what we need to do is save this to a temp version, right? So I'm going to say, I'm going to call this one file size directly, like so. That way I don't override the original value. So I'm going to do file size is equal to that. And then check through there if it's 0 MB. Then do a rounding thingy again and say file size is equal to, because I haven't changed the original, so this can still work. And then at the end now is when I can replace this one is equal to whatever file size is, because at this point it's well formatted. Okay, so let's refresh. Okay, that solved the problem. Very good. Now instead of having this, we can just say Word document. I think it makes more sense than having this right there, right? Office document, Word. So I'm going to copy this, and instead of type there, I can change it. So what to do? There's icon, there's type. I guess we can do this. So here I can say if row file type is equal to this. Let's change it to Word document instead. So now if you are doing a lot of these, you can just create an array that has key and value pairs, and then you check for this thing or whatever it is, and let's see, maybe it's better to actually do that. So let me see the other file types first. Maybe we can change a few. All of these that we actually know, instead of having this here, we can change them. MKV video file, blah blah blah. Okay, so I can do that actually. Let's try and say file types is equal to. So let's make an array. Why do I keep pressing that? Okay, so this array will contain these possible values, like this one. So there's a key there, and its value is instead Word document, like that, comma. Then let's get a few more of these guys, shall we? Text plain is another one. We can just easily change it to something more human readable, like text document. We can say plain text, maybe. All right, something like that. Let's duplicate that. Even video MP4, you can change such to something like that. Image JPEG, for example. We can just say image, maybe. Yeah, same for PNG and GIF, maybe WebP actually. Okay, so you can do this for everything so that it's more readable. Let me grab this as well. This one is an MKV video file. So I'm gonna say MKV video. All right. Whatever you think your users would want to see there would be better. And so with that, then I can just grab and say something like if not empty, right? If not empty, file types. So I want to see inside file types if there's a key for the current file type here, like so. Whatever that file type is, what we are doing is we are looking for a key that matches that file type and then just grab the value. So then raw file type is going to be equal to this right there, if it exists. Yeah, great. Let's see that in action. So if I refresh now, we have a problem. It says unexpected variable on line 197. So usually it's because you've missed a semicolon somewhere. So it says unexpected variable on one line, it's 97. Okay, it's because there's a missing bracket here. Brackets are not enough. So let's see now. Okay, so Word document, that's much better, right? So if I try to preview this one, it's MKV video and so on. So even this plain text would be just like plain text and so on. Oops, look what I done did. Okay, I think that's better. Even for images, you just see image. Now if you want to be specific, they can still see the file extension, so there's no need to say JPEG, it can just be image. And speaking of which, if there's it's an image, for example, we can add a preview here. Otherwise we say preview unavailable. So let's try that. Now we can use the same system over here so that we change the view in here. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of repeating myself here, I'm gonna grab this and cut it and maybe put it inside the functions just about here, like so. So this is just like a variable with file types and their human readable versions, right? So file types, So you can change it, maybe call it human readable file types or something. Something like this. Very long name, but I think since it's in the global scope, it's better to be very specific, right? So I'm going to change this here to human readable file types like that. Then I can grab this again. Let's go to the get files part here. Where is that? Somewhere here. And paste. That way we have a similar thing in the main page as well. Alright. So these should change as well. Boom. Oh wait. It did not change at all. Okay, what's going on? If not empty, human readable file types. Let's see if it changed on these. Here it works. Here it doesn't. But why, I say? Let's see. Is this the right place? Yes, it is. If not empty, human readable file types, blah 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 blah. Ah, right. This does not exist actually. That's why. So it's supposed to be rows key. So I'm gonna grab that. Like so. Okay, should work now. Not working still. Let's see. Rows key file type. Ah, it's because I'm not overriding the original one. Okay. So I need to override the original with that. Same thing here. Okay. Probably will work. Yes. There we go. So much cleaner, right? Word document, plain text, MP4. Even shorter. So much better. Now down here, let's add a preview and call it a day. So for certain files, we can add a preview down here. So if it's an image, for example, then we can put a preview. So let's go down to the preview HTML, just after the table, right down here. Let's add a div and say something like preview unavailable. Great. Let's add some styles, right? Padding like 10 pixels, text align center. Very good. Alright. Preview unavailable. Very nice. We can also use icons here. Let me use the classes bi. Let's see what we have so far. Share, trash. I wanted one with information. Let's put the I. Yeah, preview unavailable. But this is an image, so the preview must be available. So what we're going to do is, let's give it a class we can call. So I'm going to say class is JS, just so we know it's for JavaScript. What else can we call it? Just JS preview. Preview card, maybe like something like that, right? Doesn't matter what you call it as long as it's unique. Okay, so if things were found and we append to the child, display a preview here, we can say display a preview if possible. So here, it's a matter of having an if statement. So we can do something like preview previewable, if that's the word. So here we'll have a list of those things we can preview, like an image, for example. And what else can we preview here? MP4 video. These are the types we can preview. MP4 video, MKV video. Actually, that's not possible in the browser. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe not. Let's try it out. MKV video. Now we have to look for the human readable version. So MP4 MKV video. Maybe this I can put small letters for consistency, like this one here. So there's image, plain text. Should we preview plain text? That's up to you. But definitely a Word document, no. So back to preview here. These are previewable things in there. So you can add to the list as it grows. So we're going to say if the file type right here, if object row file type, see the problem with mixing PHP and JavaScript, you end up mixing the code. Okay, so we're going to say if previewable dot includes, because it's a function, doesn't include the file type in its array, then in that case we're gonna grab the previewable item. So we're gonna say document dot query selector dot inner HTML is gonna be equal to, let's create a string, right? Wait, query selector should select something. So it's .js preview card. That's what we call it. We called it. And there we go. So now let string, I hope I haven't used that already. Let string be equal to let's see here. If it's previewable, we still need to know what it is. So if the type, let me grab here. If type is equal to image, then we do one thing. Else can duplicate that and move it down there. If it's equal to MP4 video or MKV video, let's do or MKV, then we do a different thing here. So let's move a string over here and set it to an empty. And then we just populate string with something new. So I'm going to use the backticks here so I can use proper HTML, multi-line HTML. So I'm going to say image and source, and then close that. Now we can add some styling as well. So styling, I'm going to say width 100%, maybe 90%, better like that. And what else? That's pretty much it. But the source here now is going to be the actual file. So where do we get the path? If we look in our database here, What happened to my database? Okay, my drive. What's in here? File path. Okay, so here we're going to use file path. So I'm going to do obj dot file path. Actually, there's dot row there, dot file path, and then let me select that and do put the $, and it automatically do that. Okay, so we have our path. Very good. Let's try this out, yeah, before we go any further. This is an image right here, so there we go, and we have a preview this time, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. Let's go back here. Let's try a different... oh, so there's only one image, right? Now, if we try this one, it's going to say preview unavailable, but this one, there's an image. Now, let's do video here. We may have audio as well, MP3. Let me go back here. If for some reason we get audio MP3, like that, audio. So if it's MP3 audio, we will preview as well. So let me duplicate this a little bit. Chop. Like this. So change that to MP3 audio. There's no... so you can add different audio files that can run like 3GP. There's also MP4 video as well, so put as many as you need. Let me grab this though. Put it here. Put another one here. Fighting with my mouse. Okay, so this one, let me change this to source. This style here is irrelevant. Instead, let me move one step down like this. Here we're gonna do video like this. Let's put our styles there. And I'm gonna say controls as well, so you put the word controls to have the controls there. Video, we need to close this video tag. Alright, seems about right. So MB4, MKV. This is more similar to the audio thingy, so I'm gonna paste that here and just change that to audio. That's about it, really. Alrighty then, let's refresh. Same thing, come back. Let's try this MP4 file, preview. And it actually worked, look at that. It shows me the time duration, so it loaded perfectly. Let's see if it'll play. It's actually playing. But why I cannot see anything? Let me reduce the volume. What kind of file is this? This is MP4. Yeah, but this is not the kind that actually plays here. I think that's why the codec is unavailable. Let me try the MKV. Okay, so video not supported at all. Okay. So long for you, MKV. This is MP4. Maybe you can do 3GP or something, add more that are like this one. In fact, I think it's better to use the switch statement here, but this would do just fine. So now we don't preview this. So let's remove it from the list. Here, in fact, we can do MP3 audio instead. as part of the list. Okay, so preview unavailable there, great. So let me just upload an audio file. Let's see here. Let's go do I have one on the desktop? Audio file. Any audio file here? Probably not. Okay. Let's go to where I know there is one. Alright, so I'm going to try this. Where? This one. Let's import. Upload complete. Oh, it doesn't know this file, no? Audio MPEG. Oh, so that's what it says. It's audio MPEG. Right. Okay, so let's go to functions here. It's audio MPEG. Boom. Just by changing that, we change that text here. Say MP3 audio. Then the icon as well must change. So let's see here. I'm going to duplicate this. Say MP3 audio MPEG. And instead of a card here, we're going to put... Is there a speaker? Let's see. Okay. Maybe there's one called sound. I don't know. Let me just try. Not so lucky. Okay. Maybe there's one called audio, right? Let's see. Not so lucky. Okay, let's leave speaker there for now. We're gonna inspect and change it as we need to. Okay, so we have that. Let me preview this, and as you can see now, there we go. So I'm sure it's playing in the background. I can't hear it myself, but I'm sure it is playing. Okay, great. So things are looking up. We can preview files. We can download them now. If I click download, it does download them, which is awesome. So things have improved a little bit. Now what we need to do is make sure that we select the share type so that people cannot just grab our information from here. All right, so I'll see you in the next video.